Elizabeth is very busy planning her wedding to Lucas. So I'll be taking over for some vocabulary lessons. Since you're here, click the button and subscribe, and also click the bell and the word all for notifications. So in this series, we're going to look at the vocabulary words that you can learn while watching When Calls the Heart. But actually, it's kind of like for me, things that stood out for me. So I was wondering what it meant to all of you too. And I loved how when I was revisiting these words, I saw how there could be hints and questions for season 10, which opens up a discussion. So this is actually a series, and this is part 1. All right, so we're going to look at episode 1 of season 9, and there are 2 words that stood out for me. I actually had to put on the closed caption, which is why I have my TV behind me. So I have the closed caption on, and you can't see it right now, but I'll show you in a minute. And the word that was spoken was birth, B-E-R-T-H. Now, this gentleman here, which is Mr. Smith, has an accent to my ear because I'm from the United States and he is from England. And I was thinking to myself, birth, B-E-R-T-H. I didn't even know what that word meant. So I had to do a little research, and I want to talk about that word. All right, here we go. So as you can see, B-E-R-T-H, what does it mean? It actually is like a cab, like an enclosed place. It could even be a part of a cab that is, or a compartment on a train. And that's what he's saying. It was a pleasure sharing that space because at the time when he was getting off, you see he's wiping his hands are sticky. So in that scene, what was really caught my attention wasn't so much the vocabulary word, but I like that he's very, polite, and I enjoyed it, even though he got all sticky from the taffy. And I remember talking to Kathy, who's my partner, and we, analyze things. And she was like, it humanized him because we go on to see that Mr. Smith, Jerome, is really not a nice man. It's like he cares more about money and kind of being underhanded to get what he wants than the lives of the people. So this little scene helps us to sort of make him a little bit endearing to us, only for that whole story to unfold and we're like, not so nice after all. I also love the reference to the sticky for several reasons. One being that it goes to like a flashback to when we first met Rosemary in her early years, and she had that reference of stickiness with children. And she even refers to that again in season 9, which is all part of the hints that she is going to, become a mom, which we see as the season unfolds. Yay. So I'm thinking, yes, we're looking at this vocabulary birth. It made me go back and pay attention, but then I'm looking at the whole scene and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm going to ask this of you, what do you think is going to happen with Jerome Smith? I may have mentioned it in some other videos, but I'm serious. What do you think his role will be in season 10? Will we actually get to see him, or we just hear about him? He's also linked with the actor Matthew, who we hope comes back, who plays Arthur Gilchrist. Do you think we're going to see him? I think we will. How could we not? When they still have that open storyline. I mean, the writers can be crafty and change many things, but I'm wondering, what do you think? First of all, did you know that B-E-R-T-H, what it was? Did you know what it was? And also, secondly, what do you think? Do you think they'll be back sharing a birth again and interacting with some other characters, coming back for season 10, maybe for the trial of Henry? Will we see Arthur Gilchrist come back because he's also involved in the newspaper? I am hoping so, especially since I hear from the grapevine that Fiona is getting a big storyline. So I'm hoping that has to do with Matthew, I don't know. What do you think? Okay. Now there is a second word that I wanted to pay attention to, and that involves Lee and his campaigning. So here we go. Okay, so we have stumping. So what exactly is stumping? Like, what is Lee asking Rosemary to do? Well, what he's doing is he's going out campaigning, and he stops and he gives speeches along the way, a stump speech. And he's asking if she'll go. And of course, she feels conflicted because she does support him, as we see later on when he comes with all those burrs and things, because he has to, car breaks down, he has to go walk through the woods and he looks a little disheveled. But back to the stumping. She does support him, but she doesn't feel like she should go on the little campaign trail while he's giving these speeches, only because she feels like she has to be impartial when she's reporting, because she is reporting the news and she doesn't want to look slanted towards Lee. So, which I didn't know what the word stump meant. I didn't know what a stump speech was and what stumping meant. I mean, is it still popular today? Do they use it, or is it something that was used in the past? I don't know. I know about campaign, but, okay. So anyway, this whole me researching and looking made me go back and think about what's going on with the election, and being mayor. Now, I talked a little bit about this in predictions that I have for next season, but I'm still wondering, hello, first of all, what do you think? What do you think about the mayor? Who's going to be mayor? I know that at the end we said we saw Hickam say he was done, being mayor, and you saw him taking down his little sign, and he was with Fiona and talking about getting back into the oil business. But then who is going to be mayor it goes back to Bill, but Bill wasn't even there. He wasn't even there for the fire because he had left town, trying to get healthy again. So who's mayor while he's away? And how long will Bill be away? And when he comes back, he already has 42 different jobs. Is he really going to be mayor again? I was thinking there are a lot of characters with many jobs. Could it be Fiona? She had started to, she was in the in the running in the campaign, and then she dropped out. Will she go back and try her hand again? Do you think that maybe because certain men think that she is not qualified, certain women do too, to be in a man's world, that would push her to really try to run again? Is Bill going to understand that he has to slow down a bit and take care of himself more because, doing all those 42 different things and he's sick? I'm sure even if he makes a full recovery, still, that makes you think, is it going to be a totally different character? Are they going to have a whole campaign again? I'm not sure. Some people have said to me, oh, do you think that would give an opening in for Lori to come back to be Abigail? I don't know. I am not sure. What do you think? This is really something that I'm curious about because I want to see where these writers go. Now, although we have a new showrunner, they had stories set and were ready. I mean, they were writing before, because when I had the writers come on and talk and chat with us, they had already started writing for season 10. Now, things can change, but still, how much is it really going to change? So what are your thoughts? I'm curious. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Oop, hold on. Class is dismissed. See you next week.